Hi all, my name is John and I'm one of the instructors for ESL 115, and I wanted to create a short video overview of the connections between units 2, 3, and 4 in ESL 115. You can think of this video as a sort of roadmap for the rest of the semester, designed to keep you on the right track and moving forward in the right direction. So let's begin. 115 begins with Unit 1, which is designed to serve as an introduction for many of the key concepts necessary for success in academic writing. For some of you, this unit may have involved a lot of review, and for others, this unit may have been an introduction to many new concepts like thesis statements, Pi-C structure, strategies for promoting coherence in your writing, and ways to write effective introductions and conclusions. Regardless of whether this information was new or a review, we're going to continue focusing on these skills and developing them over the course of the semester. The major assignment in Unit 1 was probably a familiar one. The diagnostic essay revision asked you to use evidence to support one side of an argument. This is a really common purpose for writing academic style essays, but it's only one of many. And in order to prepare you for the kinds of writing you will have to do in college and afterwards, we're going to need to discuss how to write for other purposes too. So early in Unit 1, we discussed the importance of having a clear purpose for your writing. There are a lot of different purposes for writing, and each requires you to write in a certain way. For example, you wouldn't write an article for publication in a scientific journal in the same way that you might write a novel or a comic strip. There are as many different purposes for writing as there are ways to describe those purposes. So it's really important to have a clear idea of the purpose that you want to achieve when you write something. While we're going to continue discussing the same skills that we introduced in Unit 1, we're going to change our focus from argumentative writing to analytic writing. To put it simply, you're going to be asked to use the same skills we discussed in Unit 1 to write for a different purpose. As we mentioned earlier, the goal of writing an argumentative essay, like the diagnostic essay in Unit 1, is to convince the person reading your writing that your perspective or your opinion on an issue is the best one or the correct one. It's very similar to taking part in a debate. All the information that you include is used to try and persuade the audience that you have the best perspective. Analytic writing involves looking at an issue from many different angles to help increase our understanding of it. It's much less black and white than argumentative writing. So, again, the main goal in argumentative writing is to convince your reader that you've got the correct opinion. Here's an example of an argumentative essay prompt. So it says, should smoking be banned on campus? Why or why not? It's really clear, especially by the second part, that there are two sides to this argument. Smoking should be banned or it should be allowed. And the goal of someone responding to this question would be to choose a side and defend their perspective. In analytical writing, the purpose is to examine an issue and try to give an explanation about why something happens. So here's an example prompt on the same topic. It says, investigate the reasons why there is a smoking ban on the UIUC campus. We can see in this question, or in this prompt, that there's no one right answer. Basically, we're going to need to look at the issue and try and look at what are the causes and what are the effects? Who are the people involved? Who are the people that could benefit from a smoking ban? Who are the people that could possibly not be harmed, but have an argument against this ruling? So, again, it's really important to have a clear distinction between argumentative and analytic writing. When you're writing an argumentative essay, you're trying to convince your reader that your perspective is best. When you're writing an analytic essay, your goal is to explore cause and effect and to evaluate why something happens. Perhaps the easiest way to make this distinction clear is to look at two example questions. You can see here in these two prompts that we're talking about the same issue, global warming, but you would have to do two very different things in order to respond appropriately to each of these prompts. In the first one, you need to take a side and decide whether global warming is the most serious problem facing modern society or not. In the second prompt, you would need to look at what are some of the things that are possibly causing global warming, and then, additionally, trying to find and evaluate solutions to these problems. In order to produce effective analytic writing, we're not only going to have to spend time working to develop your academic writing skills, but we're also going to have to work on developing your critical thinking skills. Critical thinking involves your ability to look at an issue from as many different angles as possible. We'll also need to work on developing your research abilities, and finally, work on developing your ability to effectively integrate research into your writing. We're going to do these three things in 3 steps. We'll begin with Unit 2, which is an assignment called the Pre-Research Portfolio. From there, we'll move to Unit 3, which is the Annotated Bibliography assignment, and then finally in Unit 4, we'll work on the individual research paper. All of these units build towards producing a final product, and that is your final research paper. In this slide, you'll get a better idea of how Units 2, 3, and 4 are connected. So we'll start with Unit 2, the pre-research portfolio. And this is going to ask you to think in depth, to think critically about the topic that you choose for your research paper. Then we'll move to Unit 3, which is the annotated bibliography. This is an assignment that's designed to make sure you make the most out of the research that you do. Finally, we'll combine steps 2 and steps 3 into some writing and produce the final research paper.
In 115, the research paper is known as the Individual Research Paper, or IRP. So you can see here the prompt or task. It says, choose a problem in society affecting a distinct population. Find and analyze at least 2 actionable solutions offered by organizations. Based on your analysis, propose ways to improve the existing solutions or propose a new solution. Your analysis and recommendation should all be based on sources. So you can see that this is a pretty complicated task. It'll be worthwhile to continue listening to this video to see how this breaks down.
So to review, to write a successful IRP, you will need to focus on a problem that is facing society. From there, you're going to need to find an organization, and this will usually be a government agency or a nonprofit that offers solutions to this problem. Finally, you're going to need to do research on how to find solutions that are effective and offer ways to improve on these solutions. This slide is designed to give you an example of how to meet these requirements. So we had a student choose the problem of providing clean and safe drinking water for people in developing countries. After looking around at different organizations trying to solve this problem, he decided to pick a nonprofit organization called the Water Project, which is working directly to provide people with safe drinking water. After reviewing the website of the Water Project, he was able to find 2 actions, 2 solutions being used by the organization to solve this problem, and they are digging wells to provide access to clean underground drinking water, and building sand dams to try and purify rainwater. After deciding on all of this information, he's going to begin research on how effective these solutions are, as well as to see if there are any other better solutions to this problem. To start his research, the student will begin by writing a pre-research portfolio. So during Unit 2, you will be asked to complete a pre-research portfolio as well. The idea behind this assignment is to get you to choose a topic for your research paper and to ask you to start considering how you will focus your work and what kinds of sources you'll need to write a quality paper on your topic. During the pre-research portfolio phase, you'll ask questions like, what are the causes of my problem? Who is affected by my problem? Are the solutions offered by my organization the best ones? What's being done to solve this problem, and can anything else be done to solve the problem? So basically, the pre-research portfolio is designed to get you to do some guided critical thinking about the topic you would like to write about in your final research paper. After completing the pre-research portfolio, you're going to begin your research. In order to do high quality research, you will be asked to complete an annotated bibliography. So during Unit 3, you're going to write the annotated bibliography and use the information that you found in your pre-research portfolio to find really good sources to use in your final research paper. As you find these sources, you're going to be asked to do a few different things, like summarize them and create reference citations for them. The annotated bibliography is a really effective tool for organizing your research, and that's why you are going to be completing it in this course. So, again, an annotated bibliography will ask you to do things like summarize the main points of your article, offer a plan on how you will use the source or article in your final paper, and then give an evaluation of how trustworthy your source is. The whole idea is to make sure that you are using the best articles and research in order to write the highest quality research paper possible. After completing the pre-research portfolio in Unit 2 and the annotated bibliography in Unit 3, you're going to start writing your individual research paper. So the individual research paper will ask you to combine your critical thinking with your research and then write it all in an effective, easy to read, comprehensible way so that the ideal outcome will be a successful grade on the final paper. Again, Unit 2 will ask you to think critically about the topic that you've chosen to do your research on. Unit 3 will help guide you through the research process, and during Unit 4 you will actually combine all of your research and critical thinking and start writing your final paper. I hope this overview video has helped give a better idea of what's coming up next in 115. Units 2 through 4 are designed to give you an authentic experience in writing a quality research-based paper. Most probably, it's a process that you're going to be asked to repeat more than once during your academic career. So, enjoy the process and ask as many questions as possible. I wish you the best of luck.